All right. Well, let's bring on our next group of guests.
Okay. We've got full house.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some stuff happening at the library. We've got Diane Dehoney and Mary Hamilton here. Thanks, guys, for coming to visit.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, so we're talking about story by story today, right?
Yes, we are. Please excuse.
Tell us all about it.
I know. My froggy
the floor is yours.
Yes. So I'll give you just a little bit of basics on this series. This is actually our fourth year. This is our fourth season of Story by Story. And that is a monthly series that we run each year from March until October. It's for adults and teens, and we invite storytellers from all around the country to come and share stories that reflect diverse cultures, beliefs, and experiences. It is a wonderful time for you to come in and see some of the best storytellers in the country for free. That you might not have an opportunity to see otherwise. We bring them in from all around the nation.
We like free.
Yes, we like free
That's
too.
how the library rolls.
Absolutely, it is. And so, if you've never been to a story by story event before, they are at 6:00 in the River Room, and you have about 45 minutes to an hour of storytelling, and then we take a little bit of a break to give our audience an opportunity to talk with each other about what they just experienced. So we have a little interactive portion there, and then we come back together after we've given our storyteller a little bit of a break and let them have kind of a talk back session and ask questions and really engage with the storyteller. We also have an American Sign Language interpreter for all story by story events. We want those events to be accessible to everyone. And we're just really excited. Our first teller of the season, our new season, kicks off next Tuesday, March 4th. At 6:00. And I brought Mary Hamilton with me. I think most of you probably know Mary Hamilton. She is a storyteller extraordinaire in her own right, and just a big supporter of the library and the community. And so we partnered on this. She came to me with this idea 4 years ago, probably 5 years ago, it took some planning. And she's our partner on the series, and she's our storyteller coordinator. So I'm going to let her talk a little bit about some of the storytellers we have coming up.
Awesome.
Well, they're all fabulous, of course.
Okay.
Let's get that straight. They're all professional storytellers. Sally Perkins, the first person up, comes from Indianapolis, and she's going to be doing a program called Digging in Their Heels. And what Sally has done is taken that 70-plus years that it took women to gain the right to vote and put that history together in a really fast-paced, funny and poignant retelling of that whole adventure, because it didn't go smoothly.
No.
There were times when different organizations that were supporting it got at odds with each other, as well as at odds with the country in general, trying to get that changed. And so she has put together a way of taking us through that whole adventure quickly, but engagingly. And so that's super exciting. So she sues on Tuesday, March 4th. And then in April, we have Mitch Capel. Mitch is from North Carolina, and he is one of the foremost interpreters of Paul Laurence Dunbar's poetry. And April is also Poetry Month. And so his program's called We Wear the Mask, and We Wear the Mask is the title of Dunbar's most famous poem. And so he'll be telling stories about Paul Laurence Dunbar, as well as reciting some Dunbar poetry. So that's the first two.
Yeah, and I think it's so cool to... You often have maybe authors reading excerpts from their books, which is really interesting. But this is really almost performance art.
Well,
Do you know what I mean?
It is, yes, because they don't use notes. They're not using notes. They're not reading.
They're just telling
talking
stories
to the audience. And with live storytelling, audience reaction can make a difference too, because the teller's not pretending to look at the audience. They are looking at the audience and reacting to how the audience is reacting as well.
Yeah, no, it sounds awesome. So you also have May and June, right, scheduled as well.
Oh, yes. May is
that?
Gretchen Peterson.
Okay.
When Gretchen was growing up, she noticed that there didn't seem to be any stories, any fairy tales, any folk tales in which women fell in love with women. And yet she knew that was true for her. And so what she has done is to retell stories in a way that reflects that way of feeling.
Okay.
And May seemed like a good time to schedule Gretchen. I mean, June is Pride Month, and so it seemed like that could be a nice lead-in. And with Story by Story, as Diane said, we emphasize diverse experiences. And there's a saying in storytelling that you can't hate someone when you know their stories. And so that's part of what's going on too.
That's
and
why
then
telling the stories is important.
Yeah, absolutely. It's how we make friends on a day-to-day basis.
Absolutely,
Our friends are the people who know
in
our
the
story.
real world,
Right.
not on
In the real world, right. Our
Not
friends
on
are the
screen.
people who
I
know
tell
our
my stories all
stories.
the time.
Well, no, I know.
Absolutely.
I
Like,
know.
oh my gosh,
Of course you do.
too much.
And people who know you well know many of them.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
And that's part of why they care about you.
Yeah.
And then in June, we have a Kentuckian, Paul Strickland. He lives in Covington. And Paul has done tons of fringe festivals as well as lots of storytelling festivals. And he calls his program True Fictionalist. And he says it's a bizarre bazaar of hilarious stories that might not be factual, but just might ring true to the listeners. So it's going to be a fun season, and that's just the first half.
You can tell by his photo that he's going to be fun.
He absolutely is fun. He also
Can't tell a book by its cover.
well, but he does also
Like-
compose songs and,
Yeah.
and play guitar, and so these are multi-talented people, and they are fun to be around, and I'm so excited that
Yeah.
they are willing to come to Frankfurt.
Nice.
Well, thanks for all your hard work in putting these kind of things together, because I think they're awesome to have.
Well, they're people I know,
Yeah.
and I this is the fourth season, so this is 8 a year. This is we'll be up to 32 different
Yeah.
storytellers from
Yeah.
around the country who have come to Frankfurt
Yeah.
to tell their stories by the time we finish this season.
Nice.
You can actually go on our website. We have a page on our website at www.pspl.org that's dedicated to Story by Story. So, of course, it has our current season, but also we archive our past seasons.
Yeah.
So you can go back through and look at the tellers that we've had here in Frankfurt up until now.
Cool.
And just really see the variety and the diversity of those tellers. And, we've really developed a following. And it's something that people want to tell their neighbors and their friends and their family about and bring them back the next
Yeah.
time.
Excellent.
Each teller is different, but they're each just incredibly special and moving and just unique in their own ways. We do want to remind folks that this is for adults and teens.
Yes. It's not. Sometimes people think storytelling.
Right.
Oh, bring the
Sure.
2-year-old.
Children.
No, this is
Yeah.
not. These are not stories for children. These are teens and adults,
Okay.
and thought provoking. Many of them, and as well as just being in sheer entertainment. I mean, these folks know their art form and they know how to deliver, and it's exciting to be around them. And as Diane said, so many people keep coming back, and that's wonderful to see some of the same people showing up in the
bringing
audience.
more people with them, right?
And new people are always welcome,
Yeah.
always welcome. People who think, oh, I wouldn't like that. That would be somebody reading a picture book to me. Well, they've never experienced storytelling. They need to come out and see
Yeah.
what it's really like.
Yeah.
So obviously we talked about there's no cost to attending this.
Free.
Do you all want people to register?
Yes,
That
we
be
would
helpful,
like
right?
folks to register beforehand. You can do that on our website by calling the library or, of course, just stop by. we're not going to turn you away if you show up
Right.
without registering, but we like folks to register in advance just so we can plan for how many chairs
Yeah.
to have ready. And we can always bring more in. The more the merrier. But
Plus, if you register, you get a little email that reminds you that you've signed up.
There you go.
You know, and it's always nice to get that that message reminding you, oh, yeah, I intend to go to that.
Kathy could use that occasionally. She's like,
Can't
missed
we
a
all?
concert once.
We all, yes.
So true. I'll take all of the reminders.
Let's just make sure that the first one is March 4th. And what time is that?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Okay.
And so what you talked about, like a 45-minute and then a sort of interact. So like hour and a half, 2 hours total. So
Well, the
people
library closes at 8,
Okay,
so we
so
are
we'll be out
absolutely
by-
all out of
okay.
there by
No,
8
that's good
o'clock.
enough.
Lingering people are
Right.
told.
So you don't have to go home, but you have to get the heck out of here.
Ideally 6 to about 7:30.
Okay.
That's
Which is
ideal.
good. If you put it in your calendar, you want to know like
Right.
what's your
About
window.
6 to 7:30.
Perfect.
it really depends at the end how many questions
Right.
that the audience has for the teller. And then people want to stay around after kind of and chat sometimes
Yeah,
too. But
chat.
ideally about 7:30.
Okay. All right. Anything else library-wise you want to touch on?
I mean, we talk about everything you all do.
I know, but I think
It's a busy time. It's a busy time.
Yeah.
We just want you to keep an eye on the website
Yeah.
and our Facebook
Yeah.
page. We have a lot of exciting things coming up. April will be our One Book, One Frankfurt. Hopefully, I'll be back to talk with you about that. We haven't announced our book yet, but it's going to be a good one.
Okay.
And
teaser.
I know.
Yeah, I was about to say what's the book.
I'll tell you off camera.
Okay.
But we'll be announcing that really soon. And of course, that's for adults. But then also, I know I've been talking with Margie, who's our youth services manager. They've got some great things planned coming up for spring break. So there's always something happening at the library. So I do encourage you to come down and see us. Go on our website, on Facebook, and take a look at all the great things that are coming up.
Okay.
Do you
Can I
want to
mention March 13th?
Yes, of course.
If you're a local person and you think, well, I tell stories, I should tell. Show up March 13th. March is Kentucky Storytelling Month. That's proclaimed by the governor. And local storyteller Hannah Helm and I are going to be at the library March 13th in the community room hosting an event that includes open mic. So if you've got a story to tell,
Nice.
show up. Come on. Tell your story too and enjoy your fellow folks in the community telling stories that night.
That sounds awesome.
And that starts at 6 also.
Okay. Do you guys want to participate in our question of the day?
I always
Do you have
want to
takes,
participate.
takes on those things at the grocery stores that you push around?
Yes, it is not a carton. It is not a buggy. It is a basket.
A basket? Oh, we have a
It is
third
a
entry.
basket. I grew up with it being a basket. It's your shopping basket.
Okay, I can buy. Actually, I'm more okay with that than buggy.
I'm more okay with that too. But really, I think the little handheld thing is the basket.
Well, that handheld thing's a basket, but this is the shopping basket
Yeah.
also. I
Push
grew up
basket.
with calling it a basket.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's
Diane.
do Diane.
Depending on who I'm with, where I am and who I'm with, it's
Oh.
different.
Oh, wow.
And I don't do that on purpose, but I was just sitting over there thinking, at different points in my life, I feel like I've called it all three, including grocery basket.
Okay.
Yeah.
I call it a cart corral. You put your cart in the cart corral. So
yes,
that's
you do.
cart.
That's true.
true.
But
That's a cart.
also, it's like, go grab me a buggy.
Could be
So,
the buggy bin.
Hey,
But I
a
think
new
they
phrase,
label it
buggy bin.
cart corrals.
It's cart
Yes,
corral.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I don't know. I kind
But
of go.
you still call it a buggy though when it
I
comes
do.
to like the thing. that
Yeah,
you
if I'm
grab.
just gonna grab it, I'll be like, "Hey,
Grab me
can
a
somebody
buggy.
grab me a buggy?"
Grab a buggy.
All right. I guess there are people like that.
I don't know. I think a baby buggy.
I'm equal opportunity.
Yeah.
It could be any
It
of the
can
three.
change through the store. You're going to grab a buggy there.
Uh-huh.
You're going to use that basket through the store to put all your
Right.
stuff in it. Then you're going to put it away in the cart corral.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Nice. Well, thank you, ladies, so much for coming and talking about this
Thank
great
you.
program. Again, go to pspl.org to learn about the Story by Story program and all the other amazing things that happen at Paul Story Public Library. And I'm sure we'll talk to you guys again soon.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.